Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev for the Riot Watch. Great news today. Marquise Love is under arrest. He's in police custody. Bail held at $260,000. Tried to start a GoFundMe. He was asking for 100, and no one would put cheese into his basket. No one would give him any bread. What's going on there? I mean, I thought everyone was working together on this kind of stuff, but no, everyone's working together for themselves. I'm pretty sure. A lot of people are saying, no, this guy had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. He had nothing to do with the protests. The protest was blocks away from where this area is. The protest is only around the federal building. Well, it's not. That's not particularly the case. And he is absolutely a member of Black Lives Matter. As soon as the video comes on where you see him, as soon as the video comes on where you see him kicking the Adam Autobot in the head, our hero, Marquise Love is already giving someone trouble for recording with their phone. You know, if he was just a regular punk, why would he care about other people recording with their phone? Why would we have a problem with that? Why would he be walking around with a bulletproof vest that says security on him? When we watch those videos, it's clear that he is security, just like Chaz security was security. These guys have walkie-talkies. You see him going around in groups. And he was definitely part of BLM, so whoever says he isn't is absolutely full of it. Folks in Portland seem to be waking up and realizing that what's going on isn't something that they like, particularly recently where buildings have been set on fire and people have been woken up within their houses by the night shift, telling people to wake up and come on out. Protesters chanting, "Wake up," in residential neighborhoods. Can we agree that maybe yelling "wake up" into random houses in the middle of the night isn't a great protest tactic? Anyways, usually on r/Portland, everyone's all for the riots, but not anymore. Not anymore. People are getting downvoted for saying that this is the way. This is the way it has to be. There is no proper way to protest. We can protest however we want because we are discriminated against, and this is the only way to get people to listen. No. It just doesn't work that way. Request protesters stop lighting fires. Chief Bess has been asked to cancel her retirement by black leaders. Seattle, it's been a little more than a week since a 28-year SPD veteran, Carmen Bess, announced her retirement. That's now fewer than 2 weeks away. Some black advocates for police reform expressed their frustration. It's like the complete erasure and silence of black women in positions of power can just be pushed out because of some small group of agitators who feel that it's what's best, says someone or other. Assistant director of Not This Time. Not This Time is an organization that succeeds in passing I-940, which requires officers to try to de-escalate situations instead of using force. I'm asking Chief Bess to come back and complete the work here in Seattle, said the director. Yada yada. The black leaders also denounced the violence at protests, which they said is largely white protest groups. Antifa, and that's who I like to center on in these videos. Honestly, I don't know much about Black Lives Matter. I'm learning as I go, but one thing that definitely sickens me is white people, white kids that just want to burn everything down. We've always had a problem of extremist groups who come in and want to bring violence into non-violent protests. That absolutely happens. Antifa is ready to jump at any time. When George Floyd was murdered, died, whatever, he triggered something within the black community. But not only there, but like everyone had a reason to jump in, and Antifa had been looking for one. Antifa over in the USA is different from Antifa in Europe. Before, there were a lot of people in Europe that said Antifa in USA was nothing like them. Nothing like them at all. Some of the old folks say that, some of the older Antifa said this is a little bit different. And I've had European people tell me that are part of Antifa that Antifa and anarchy are not one and the same. Well, let me tell you folks, in the USA, Antifa and anarchy are one and the same. Antifa, anarchy, the black bloc are all one in the same, and they are freaking disgusting. They are freaking disgusting. Any European people listening to me that are Antifa, this isn't you. These guys don't represent you. They do not represent you. Whenever I hear about anarchist states too, they sound nothing like these ones. Chief Best responds to the request, saying, the request today that I rescinded my retirement was unexpected but appreciated. However, I'm confident my decision is to retire the right one. So this whole idea of making Chief Best's life difficult and protesting at her house directly was just as evil as the things that the protesters say the other side would do. That's a really sneaky, underhanded tactic. Coming to somebody's home, that is not how we win friends and influence people. That is not how reasonable people act. And because of it, because of your dumbass actions, you're kicking a woman of color out of a leading head position in a figurehead state where this stuff is supposed to be okay. You guys are screwing this stuff up, and this is exactly what you want. You guys want a woman of color here, but you don't. You want to fight the man, the woman. I don't know. You guys got me confused. Anyways, in the hunts through Reddit, I have found more information on Mr. Love. Mr. Love is, he's already been charged, and I'm pretty sure that it was proven. I'm pretty sure he was convicted for this assault that's about to happen. Apparently, that's a white guy. Anyways, they swarm this guy and unreasonably beat him down. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but this is your stereotypical. It gets worse than this. Guy goes to the ground and they kick him in the face like super hard. This is, links in the description if you really want to see it, but I don't feel like peddling this. Anyways, man hospitalized in downtown Portland attack caught on camera. They wouldn't let me get up. Let's take a look at this video interview that he did.
That's not true.
His blue eyes rimmed in purple, visible trauma from Sunday night's savage beatings. Adam Hayner, now home from the hospital, talked about the night he dropped by the 7-Eleven on 4th and Taylor to get a Rockstar energy drink. He saw a woman attacked and robbed of her backpack in front of a crowd of people, some contributing to the mayhem, others cheering it on, some trying to stop it.
I seen the bag taken right in front of me, and I'm just like, they were hitting the person, so I just tried to step in between it.
Adam Hayner tried to defend this woman. She was not anyone he knew.
You don't need her to represent you.
Some in the crowd taunted him. He says they called him a white supremacist, and they tackled his girlfriend, Tammy Martin, shoving her to the ground. Both of them eventually got away in their separate cars. In this video, you see some in that chaotic crowd chase him in his white Ford pickup. He got to Broadway and Taylor when he realized his power steering had failed.
And then when I went to turn, I started pulling on the wheel, and I was like, wow, that's really hard to turn. And then it goes smack into the tree. And before I even got my door open, someone was yanking me out, and I hit the ground. So, and then I sat there for a while, and they wouldn't let me get up.
Down, sit down,
I ain't trying to hurt no one down there.
What you mean you're not trying to hurt nobody?
He is bleeding, and he is repeatedly punched and hit until the video, too graphic for television, shows him kicked in the head, which knocks him unconscious.
He's on the ground. What's he doing? Why? Why?
Adam says this was not about BLM protesters fighting for justice. He says this was about street fighters looking for trouble. In fact, Adam says he has marched in Black Lives Matter protests.
I was for their cause, just for the fact that I think we do need some reform. I don't think they should be down there tear gassing us repeatedly and rubber bulleting us.
Adam says Sunday night he was just an ordinary guy in downtown Portland.
I was just standing for myself as a citizen. And if you can't do that on the street, then what can you do? Getting a drink at 7-Eleven in Portland, Oregon is a different story than it was 2 months ago.
All right, so Adam has no ill will for anyone, and that's something you got to respect. That's pretty cool. But I don't agree with what he said about this being just a bunch of Street Fighter folks. Maybe he hasn't reviewed the entire video like I have. I feel like a jackass saying that because he was actually there. But one thing I've learned from watching a lot of these videos is you can be right there and have a different point of view than someone who's seen every video of every angle. And it's up to you as an individual to decide what is correct. But the fact that Marquise Love had been around at previous protests with a security outfit before, the fact that I've seen security from the Chaz Chop era, and these guys fit the description, traveling around in threes, one with the radio on at all times, security outfits, bulletproof vests. You don't come to, I don't see too many Street Fighters with bulletproof vests. Not like that. Not like that. No, this guy is definitely, Marquise Love is definitely part of Black Lives Matter, and he definitely makes it look really frickin' ugly. Which brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about. Folks, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. We're not talking about a political group. We're talking about a group of individuals that get together with a common goal, so we could almost call them like Christians. A bunch of people who just have an idea that come together. Unfortunately, we get the problem. A lot of people are like, well, that guy isn't actually, he doesn't represent, well, that guy doesn't actually, he doesn't represent us. That's not real Black Lives Matter. And that reminds me a lot about what a lot of people say about communism. We all know we've tried communism up, down, left, right, all over the place. And communism has not worked for us ever. And everybody always says, well, he's not really, that's not communism. I would do communism right if I did it my way. Well, it's the same with Black Lives Matter. It definitely seems like a fluid thing with people who are leaders that definitely have been trained as Marxists. And man, hey, if you're living in the slums in America and you can't get anywhere and you break your arm or your leg, you can't even go to the hospital to get yourself fixed. That's pretty messed up, and that's a good way to make people think communism is a good thing. So, you know, I get a lot of people on the right listen to me. Folks, if you're on the right, you need better health care. I'm from Canada. We got health care. Now, that doesn't mean that our medication is free, and that doesn't mean that our chemotherapy is free. Not everything is free. But if I break my arm, if my daughter loses her hearing, or if she gets a big mark on the side of her face, then I can take her, and I don't need to worry if to get this fixed, if I'm going to lose my home. That is predatory, the kind of stuff that I hear going down in the States. And it's not the hospital, it's not the doctors, but it's like the hospitals and the insurance companies, and they're just so bad that people have absolutely lost their faith in the American way. It's so sad. Like, seriously, Adam Autobot over there, that's what I like to call him, he got $135,000. If he doesn't have insurance, will that cover his medical bills? The fact that we can't answer that is freaking crazy. So you have unconscionable situations like that, and people think that the only way that you can get through it is communism. No. You don't need communism. Just a little bit of socialism, just a little bit, just a sprinkle. I do believe you sprinkle on a little bit of socialism as far as the medical system goes. And the medical system is definitely fucked up because you get okay, so Obama flat out, I know you guys don't like Obama, but Obama said we really should go to single payer. He did as much as he could to try to change things. Donald Trump tried to make it, and he made it. So hospitals absolutely have to say up front how much it's going to cost to do this, that, or the other thing, because the prices can fluctuate. And how unconscionable is it that a hospital has a CEO to begin with? But how unconscionable is it that a hospital will have a book to say how much everything is worth, how much every procedure is worth, but nobody gets to know what that procedure is? There is definitely some problems in America right now. And by keeping people under the gun that much, you're definitely going to get some crazy people with some radical ideas, because it will be almost radical to live in a place where if you break your arm and you don't have a job that gives you good security, I'm not down in America. A lot of excellent things come from America. If we didn't have America, you know, most of the things that I enjoy, if we didn't have America, the world would probably be back like 20 years. Let's face it. America is a freaking great place. It's a wonderful place, but it has problems. And the problems that are there are, they've been festering. And I don't see a problem so much with the political. I don't see a lot of problems with the political. I don't see problems with races. I see problems when it comes to who has money and who gets money, where the money goes. It's the more I grow up, the more I think if I want to die a good person, I'm not going to have money, because the most disagreeable people seem to be able to achieve the most. And the more disagreeable you get, the more you're rewarded with money. It definitely seems. And then you get a little bit of luck, and then you get some pricks. We all know pricks who just got a little lucky in life, have all kinds of money, and they think that they can go and say that they know how to make more money. No. You got lucky, or you were given that money. Anyways, now this is the stuff I can't stand. It's like cam hose for riots and protests. This chick hardly gets any views, and right now she's sitting outside of the Portland judicial place. She's waiting for her friends to get out of prison. Apparently, as soon as they come out, they're not going to be prosecuted. And as soon as they come out, there's a support group that apparently will take them away and give people food and drinks if they were rioters, if that's what they were kicked out for. What the hell is going on in Portland? Seriously, it's like another universe. It's like the gall on this chick, what she has to say. You know, I'm going to find what she says, what really gets me going.
Honestly, the entire system is corrupt. It's a systematic issue. We need to break this entire system down.
Okay, if you break the system down, do you know how to build it back up? I'm not saying it's perfect, but if you don't know how to build the system back up, then don't frickin' touch it. Don't be burning anything down. How about you burn your stuff down? You can start there.
If you want to help donate to get me to DC, I would greatly appreciate it.
Man, I can't find it, and I'm sick of looking at and hearing this chick, but basically she was saying there's no official way that you can protest, so you can't say that the way that we are choosing to protest is unreasonable, because there's no definition of protesting. Well, you know what? You're supposed to be frickin' reasonable. If you're not reasonably protesting, then you need a slap lady. Oh, I'm so sick of looking at her face. Anyways, 4chan has once again weaponized their autism, and they are dropping docs on more people. So it turns out that one of these street fighters was actually another member of this riot mob that attacked the transgender. I don't like calling her the transgender. Why do we have to call her the transgender person? Does she have a name? Let's call her Tabby 2.0. Man, where's Tabitha? Where's my drumming bard? I miss Tabitha. Tabby, where have you gone? Come back, Tabby. Anyways, sorry it's taking so long, folks, but I'm gonna finish this up with this video that's very iconic right now. And what it does is it represents the people in Portland are not putting up with these anarchist riots anymore. Let's take a quick look. Volume warning. So as you can hear, they definitely put some kind of air raid siren out, and the Antifa didn't like it, so they knocked that stuff over. And then the people come out to see what's up.
To a fucking air compressor or some shit.
You guys were there for them. Why you guys vandalized this building?
Nobody vandalized.
No one has vandalized anything in your building.
Nothing's been vandalized.
Yeah, everybody should. I'm gonna fucking. Yeah, you're fucking dangerous, man.
Then why don't you fucking worry about that?
Yeah.
All your attention's diverted over here.
Because you just.
Because of that shit right there!
Yeah, that stuff right there that we didn't vandalize at all. Okay, so once again, everyone's expected to be a reasonable person. And if you are with the group, then you represent that group. Now, the people who are with Antifa definitely don't represent a reasonable Black Lives Matter. I still want to believe that there are reasonable Black Lives Matter who aren't Marxists, who seriously just want police reform, who just want everything to be cool, that don't just want to burn everything down. I want to believe that people like this exist out there. And a lot of people on the right will tell me those people don't exist at all. And a lot of people on the left tell me that a true good Christian doesn't exist at all. And I don't believe that at all, because I've seen a lot of good Christians, except most of them aren't the type to walk out with a flag and a cross on their shirt sleeve. They'll roll up their shirt sleeve and they'll get stuff done. That's why it really bothers me when people on the far left don't like the Salvation Army, because I'm not even going to get into that. But seriously, if you're with Antifa shouting Black Lives Matter, you become part of Black Lives Matter. And if you're not a reasonable person while you are chanting Black Lives Matter, people aren't going to like Black Lives Matter, and it's not going to be because they don't like black people. It's going to be because the people that represent Black Lives Matter are detestable. Do you get that? Do you understand that? If there's any lefties out there, if you're doing this stuff for Black Lives Matter, especially if you're white, if you're white, maybe you should just shut up and help the voices of Black Lives Matter. Otherwise, you're just another far lefty throwing a tantrum because somebody won't call you by your preferred pronoun, or someone offends you in some other way. It's another thing that's just really gone through the roof in the last 20 or 30 years. People get so damn offended by everything. Not just the people on the left, but the people on the right. Frick, it's amazing. And I frickin' call people on their stuff when they get outraged. Why are you getting outraged about that? Like, sometimes I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to say things that outrage people, and I'm going to be wrong. But the thing is that we're supposed to come together for a civil discussion. If I'm wrong about something, call me on it. There's been a lot of commenters that have caught me on things, and I've learned and I've become better for it. But so many people just want to destroy the person that they're arguing against and frickin' nuke them from orbit, more or less, and just destroy their lives, and you never have to see them again or something like that. But it doesn't actually work that way. You got to come to the table. You got to work with you got to work with the demands. You got to go with the flow. You gotta. Now here's something I want to throw out there. There's a two-party system in the States, and it's frickin' reprehensible. And I really get the feeling that the two parties want to back up the people that put them in a good position. They want to back up the people that have poured in the right money, but they're not worried about the everyday person. I mean, you get elected officials, you get lobbyist groups that talk to elected officials, but it really seems to me like the only people that get what they want are the rich people who have donated to the campaign contributions. So on the right or the left, it's not about the right or the left. It's not about what you view. It's about what you view plus who has donated the most to your cause. And then there's something freaking crazy going on within the house of these two major parties, like Hillary Clinton. Like, let's face it, the only reason that Hillary got that position to be president, or the shot to take for it, was because she hung out with Slick Willie after he did with Monica Lewinsky. That's the only reason. Now, I know a lot of people who are on the left that want Trump out. None of them said they wanted this Biden, this old guy that doesn't seem to know what's going on. They didn't want him. Nobody wants him. Why is he coming in? I don't vote for either of these people, but Trump seems more capable than that guy of leading a frickin' country. Because the other guy, if you hear him talk, he doesn't talk very well at all. Like, I don't talk well at all, and I think I talk a lot better than he does. I almost wonder that guy's just going to have a heart attack in the middle of negotiations or something, and that's frickin' horrible. Because if you get a guy like that running, you're going to push people towards Hillary, or you're going to push people towards Donald Trump. And acting like this, you're also going to push people towards Donald Trump. So you want to know what? We're probably going to have another round of Donald Trump, because all y'all on the left in politics have your heads wedged so far up your butt, and you want to go with the people who will give you money and the people who are friends of yours And all of these people come from a higher class than anybody else, because we got three classes of individuals generally. Now, when you're talking about Russia, you get three classes. You get the bourgeoisie, who are in the middle, who use the bottom class, the proletarian, to attack the royalty. And I definitely see stuff like that happening. We definitely got royalty. The Clintons. I'm pretty sure it was it was either the Clintons or JFK that didn't even know that the Depression happened. No, it was JFK that didn't even know but the Depression happened because he never experienced it. He lived in a different world. He lived in a frickin' ivory tower. He lived in an ivory tower, and he didn't know how the actual world works. We get leaders leading us who all live not in houses, in frickin' fortresses, compounds. I'm pretty sure the Kennedys have a compound. I'm pretty sure that Slick Willie has a compound, not just a house, but something different. So the people leading the countries have no idea what's going on. Meanwhile, the people at the bottom, I can't even believe how some people live with how little they live. But once again, there's definitely problems, and I don't think that this election is actually going to help anything. And perhaps this is the evil that comes from the contemptible leaders that we have. Perhaps. I can't say anything about conservatives, because about all I know about them is they just want to keep their money and they don't want to change anything. That's me. You know, I'm probably way off. I'm just venting by this point. But when I see white kids doing this kind of stuff, I just want to frickin' smack them. That's for sure. America's definitely got some problems, but at the same time, I truly believe that America is one of the top damn countries on earth. And if we didn't have America, the world would be a much worse place. Some people don't want to admit this. Let's face it, if America wasn't around during World War II, history would be much different. I don't want to sound like I'm tearing America down. America, I love you. Seriously, you got your problems, but don't we all? We all got our issues. But seriously, mostly I'm just making these videos because I'm just so sick and tired of these outraged white kids. Anyways, thanks for listening to me, folks. Thanks for putting up with me. And do something good for each other. And that's all I got tonight, folks. Thanks for listening to me. Have a good one. Take care of each other. Don't be frickin' anarchy people. Don't be like that. Help each other out, please. And thank you. Have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.